All right, welcome back to another episode of the Karter Cast. I'm your host, Karter Baughan. With me, Connor Sparrow, Dylan Wilkerson. So let's start off real quick. If you're hearing me right now, my voice is awful. I'm dead. BYU died in Texas, and I think I did too. Austin, Texas got the best of me. I feel awful right now. I sound awful. So I apologize if you're listening. I'm doing my best right now. But Dylan, I want to start off with you real quick. A little, not housekeeping, more show stuff. We're doing a Thursday live stream.
It was very fun. So is this the official announcement? We're doing it moving forward?
I would like.
Or are you just talking about last week?
I would like to do it moving forward. Keep it going. I mean, we can talk about last week a little bit. Kind of recap last week. But we will be doing it moving forward. I don't think I'll be able to be on this week as I'll be on a miserable flight to Hawaii. But that's all right.
Yeah, I mean we talked about it briefly. The fact you can just go live. We didn't do much like gambling. Even just kind of. I think we talked about first dates and stuff. So we covered a myriad of topics, some sports, some not. Went live off the cuff and like no editing involved. A super easy way to get clips out. I'm a big fan of going live. So you know my thoughts on it.
We got to get the TikTok form clips, the 9:16 or 16:9, whatever it's called. We got to get those clips out to the people.
Yeah. We're definitely content machines, guys. We got to go live twice a week. A Karter Cast. Yeah, we're content machines.
Back to it real. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say 42 live viewers this morning on the NFL stream. No big deal. If you want me to start streaming from the Karter Cast account, Karter, you let me know. Get some numbies up.
I'll send you the info. And then other thing. You said Applebee's was better than Chili's. Did you ever get your homework done?
I didn't do the homework, but in my defense, we discuss that on Thursday, so I have until the next live stream to do my homework.
No, that's fair. I'm not mad. And also, we take late assignments. I'm not.
So it's the first week, and you're asking for an extension. You're asking for an extension.
Week. No, it's not an extension. It was until the next live stream. But on Thursday,
we'll allow it.
Here at Cartercast High School, at Cartercast College, they don't accept late work.
Yeah.
At all?
It's going to be a whole different ball game once you get to the next level.
It's like the lie they always tell you in high school. In college, they're not going to let you accept late work. And then you get to college, you're like, yeah, dude, I don't give an F. Just turn that in whenever. I don't even look at it.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I don't know how they do it at BYU, Karter, but at prestigious universities like Michigan and the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill,
it's true.
That's not allowed.
Whoa. Dylan didn't go to Michigan.
That's not true. I took a Coursera class on Python that was sponsored by the University of Michigan.
He's a Michigan man, though, Karter.
I'm a Michigan man.
By affiliate. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to say something I shouldn't if we start talking about Carolina education. Anyhow. Yeah.
Connor was the one that was taking a class for that basketball player.
Yeah.
Look at you. So studious, you wanted to help others out.
Should we name a specific basketball player that you may have assisted?
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I've got my degree in hand. We're out. We're graduated. We're done.
Let's start. Let's talk football. Yes. Big weekend. We're not going to do any college football because let's be honest, college football sucked this weekend. A lot of the games were terrible. Kansas, big dub. The big win for our Jayhawks, baby. BYU stinks. That game was awful. Utah,
Carolina.
Oregon, we were dead on about Oregon. I mean, Oregon. Smacked them. Carolina, hilarious. I wish that game should have been on the CW. Carolina should just have to go on the CW for the rest of the season until they win a game. Yeah.
Yep. I completely agree. That was a perfect CW game. 2 awful losses. I don't even want to talk about it. But deep down, Karter, I tweeted this out. I knew college football playoffs should not be in the same breath as Carolina football. But even still, a small sliver of me was like, if we can be undefeated going into Duke or NC State, we might have a chance. Now, lose to Virginia and Georgia Tech, just the scum of the conference. So it's okay. We're on the basketball season.
If you lose to the scum of the conference, do you become the scum of the conference?
It's a transitive property. You might be right.
Dylan, what are you going to say about college football?
Real quick, some are saying that Georgia Tech, Virginia this week might be like the ACC championship game. The 2 best teams in the conference.
I would be okay with that.
But I wanted to address real quick because there's a lot of talk on here. Oh, Dylan doesn't hit his parlay picks. Dylan, selling the parlay. And so a quick little exercise. Everybody that got their college football parlay pick right, can we raise our hand?
The problem here is what's happening here is you're just like, all right, I'm gonna lock in this week when the rest of us are like half-assing it, where we're like, we don't care. Yeah, we're out of sync. We need to get our moon cycles. You know when a bunch of women are together and their periods become the same time. We need to do that.
The menstrual cycle. There you go.
Yeah, we need our menstrual cycle going.
Well, I would like to take that away from that comparison and make more of a tanking comparison. When you're on a bad team and you're a superstar like me and you, Karter, and you're losing 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row, you don't want to try the rest of the year. You want to rest up for next year. So.
Oh, so you're looking to replace me? You're shopping around. Okay,
we're looking at free agency.
Hey,
that's all right.
I am huge Team Dylan.
Brandon Anderson, if you're out there, I'm available. Sean Corner, Chris Raybon.
If you and Brandon Anderson do a podcast, the background of it just has to be an Excel spreadsheet, and the logo's just the Excel logo.
Oh,
get out the bell curve.
What a great start of this episode. All right, let's talk football now. Let's talk NFL football. Let's start. Cowboys, Rams. Cowboys 43, Rams 20. Cowboys, I guess they're back. I don't know. This game was over immediately, and the Rams were just dead right to the start. The only thing I really had on this game was I think the Rams are just going to be this annoying team all year that you don't want money on either side of because, you just never know if 1 week they're going to look like a playoff team or look like the Carolina Panthers. Why are you laughing, Dylan?
It's just funny. I don't know that we're using the Panthers for our comparison to the bottom of the league. Which, to be fair, the rankings, Wilkerson ratings, Panthers are not at the bottom. Panthers are not at the bottom. But Rams, you don't know what you're getting. What I took away from this game when I saw the final score, I'll be honest, I watched maybe 3 minutes, but I saw the Cowboys blew them out, and I wanted to take a look. It feels like the Cowboys are either blowing out teams or getting blown out. And I looked into what their margin of victory was this season. This is what they have so far. Margin of victory of 40, 20, 12, 35, negative 32, 3, and 23. So there's one game there that was settled by a possession.
The Chargers.
And I think that really tells us if we ever like the Cowboys as an underdog, I think we just got to take them outright, which matters for next week because they're a 3-point underdog. They just don't get involved in these close games, whether that means they just like to pour it on. I know they score a lot of defensive touchdowns, but that was the takeaway that I ended up getting from this game, oddly enough.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I watched a couple drives. The Rams were clearly outmatched. If you look at the Cowboys' upcoming schedule, they should easily win 4 of these next 5 games in November. The Eagles would be the only one that I'd be a little concerned about, but they have a chance to get 4 wins this month, and we'll be talking about Cowboys playoffs. Who wants to face them? We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. This is a big game for the podcast. Vikings 24, Packers 10. A lot to talk about in this game, but as any person who any great man of this podcast, any honorable man, we need to start with a Kirk Cousins moment of silence. Dylan, would you like to start us off? Just any words before we do our 10 seconds moment of silence?
He's a great man. Put on a great show for the 8 weeks he played, 7 weeks. I can't remember if they have their bye yet. Great performance on quarterback. What do you say? I saw it happen in real time, and I was like, no, this can't be. This can't be. And now there's if you're a Vikings fan, what do you do, right? And I think we're going to touch on this later, but you have an option. I don't believe in tanking, but you do have the option to get maybe some less experienced guys some reps. Or just like a report I saw, I think I might have but Jameis Winston to the Vikings?
That's got to be one of those fake Twitter aggregator reports.
Yeah, I think I got.
But
yeah, we're going to need some credibility. Credibility factor.
It's one of those get gots where you're like, I'm not upset about getting got here.
It's fun.
It's not
it's realistic.
It's like, Kevin Durant joins the Charlotte Hornets, and you get got on that one. You should feel bad about yourself. But then when it's
it's believable.
Vikings? Yeah.
This backup quarterback who is, could be a starter maybe on a bad team is getting traded here. That's okay, Dylan. We'll let you slide here.
But
I got.
It's Jaron Hall season. Dylan.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Oh my gosh.
He looked amazing. He looked amazing yesterday.
He got 5 snaps. It's not his fault.
I'm just saying. We're seeing a lot of rookie quarterbacks now. A lot of them.
No word out of Atlanta yet, but Minnesota at Atlanta next week.
I
know.
Who would you rather have?
That on the preview show this week, you're going to say, "Oh, we should talk about these other games." Minnesota, Atlanta might have to start the show.
Who would you rather have, Ritter or Jaron Hall?
Trust tree. I don't think Ritter's going to start. I think it's Heineke time.
Yeah, I think it has to be. Yeah,
I love it. The Falcons just got so much better. They got so much better by that one change, and you even saw it against the Titans. Yeah,
we'll talk about the Falcons. We got that game. That's going to be the longest part of this show probably. But with the Vikings Packers, real quick on the Vikings, is it tank season now? I said the tank was on. I said it, and Dylan goes, "Oh, Carter, you need to apologize for saying the tank was on." I think the tank is back on now.
I think this is kind of like a higher power interference telling them, hey, be bad this year, get a top pick, because Jefferson's out for an extended period of time, and now Cousins goes down with an injury, which we hate to see. But is that some kind of a higher power being like, all right, Minnesota, if you don't want to do it your way, we're going to make you tank? I think it's time. I think the tank's on.
Tanking's not a thing. They're still going to try to win games.
They're still going to try to win games, but when you're starting, let's say, Nick Mullins at quarterback, I think that signifies I'm okay losing this game.
But what would be, you got Jaron Hall, you got Nick Mullins. They could go out and get another quarterback, but what quarterback is on the market that would put them into a winning position, right? So Jameis.
Sneaky trust tree here.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton.
He would slot right in.
Wow, he would look good in that purple too.
He would.
Yeah, he did at TCU. He's a TCU guy.
That would be a great pickup for
Trust tree again here. Dylan, you said tanking's not real. It's going to be extremely hard for the Vikings to tank. Their next 5 games, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders.
See, other than the Raiders, those are 4 really bad teams. They really have the opportunity to do something here.
One out of two of those teams will be in the playoffs.
De facto though. I mean, it'll be it'll be who stinks the least, the least.
Participation trophy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of them will be in the playoffs because they have to win the division.
It's like the 2016 election. You had lesser of two evils. What do you do?
Okay.
What do you do, Dylan?
You write in.
You write in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, write in Kirk Cousins. Nick Saban.
Yeah, but no, Vikings. I'm excited to see Jaron Hall as a BYU guy. I'm very excited. Packers. I bought Packers stock. I bought Jordan Love stock at an all-time high. It was when Dogecoin hit like $1,000 a share, and I bought it. I was like, "Yep, it's going up to $2,000." Turns out, no, it went down to 5 cents. It's bad. It's bad. Jordan Love. I'm gonna hold on to it because the only saving grace I have is one. I think Matt LaFleur may have lost the locker room. I think that needs to be talked about. I also think he throws such a pretty ball. He can't be this bad.
Yeah, I was out. I told Brian, because Brian and I have been on the same page about Jordan Love this, Jordan Love that. The Packers are going to win the division. I told Brian, I said, hey, we might have been wrong, and he talked me right back into it. I think the Packers are going to win the division. He talked me right back into it.
No, they're not.
Oh yeah, they are. Well, the Lions are trendy. They're hot. I get 5-2, 6-2. I don't know. The Vikings aren't going to do it. The Bears aren't going to do it.
The Vikings with Jaron Hall might.
No, Vikings are out of the race. That horse is out of the race.
I'm not even entertaining that.
Yeah, that's out of the race. I don't know. I'm with you, Carter. I got talked into it preseason. On the preview show, Dylan was like, Jordan Love this, Jordan Love that. Brian in the Twitter DMs, Jordan Love is going to have a breakout year. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Why am I not buying this guy's stock? I'm not ready to give it up yet. No. But it's been rough the last few weeks, so we'll say.
Yeah, we'll hold on to our stock, but
diamond hands.
We got nothing to lose here at this point. What quick game I wanted to just run by real quick. Saints 38, Colts 27. Colts overs have just been free money all season. I think that's just going to continue. Should the Saints be favored in the NFC South now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it depends who they're projecting as quarterback in Atlanta.
I think this will be the last week.
I think that's a serious question, though, too. I think if Heineke's the starter, guys, we need to have the NFC South winner ready to hit place right when that gets announced.
Well, right now the Saints are the favorite in the NFC South. This will probably be the last week that you see that, because if Heineke starts and the Falcons win next week, then they're instantly going to be minus money.
I'm a Carr head. I'm the biggest Carr head in the world. Love Carr.
Really?
He did quietly just throw for 300 plus yards against the Colts, and not a bad Colts defense. Pass defense.
Not a bad
So,
Colts defense. We've
not
been
a
talking
bad
about
Colts defense.
overs being free money.
Well, yeah, that's because
What
they're
are
scoring.
you going to say? What are you going to say next week if Bryce Young puts up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Colts? Are you going to say, "Oh, that Colts defense sucks," and their overs are free money all year, or you're going to be like, "Oh, not a bad defense. Bryce Young, great game, good job by him."
I would say what any self-respecting person in our shoes would say is that we have too small of a sample size. Too small of a sample size for Bryce
Young.
Young.
Then I will say that about the next game we talk about.
But
too
then you'll
small
be
Bryce Young, real mature Dylan. Too small Bryce Young, huh? Real mature.
Hey, Dylan, I'm going to use that exact same argument on the next game we talk about. So just be ready.
Well, it doesn't count because you were wrong about the draft.
No, it's too small of a sample size.
I'm Mr. Draft.
Too small.
Mr. Draft.
Dylan. Hey, Dylan, too small. Too small.
I hate that. I hate that celebration, by the way. That might be a live stream topic, but I hate that. Anytime a quarterback will overthrow a wide receiver by 10 yards and the DB, too small.
What celebration do you like? The Tebow?
Run back to the line of scrimmage. Get your butt back to the line of scrimmage and get set up for the next play.
Hand the ball to the ref and
Yep. Get down on a knee like you're proposing.
Score a touchdown, jog over the sidelines, and watch film for the next drive.
Yep. Just place the ball down on the ground. Just
Dylan,
place it down
what are your thoughts on the gritty?
Only when it's Kirk Cousins or Mike Gesicki.
No.
Why not? Why just those two guys?
I think
Because
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson do a good gritty.
I think Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are just as equal worthy people to do the gritty.
There's Gesicki and Cousins is more interesting. You see the fact that they can't do it. I know what you guys are trying to do. You guys are trying to get me fired. No.
Are you saying Gesicki and Cousins gritty is more a trustworthy gritty? Not.
No, I'm not saying it's trustworthy. I'm saying that it's like it's rare. You don't get it very often. They don't score as often, and when you do get it,
it's a scrappy
Gesicki just runs. Gesicki just runs and moves his arms. There is no gritty there.
It's the type of gritty you'd let date your daughter.
It's a scrappy gritty. It's a scrappy gritty. It's a tough gritty.
Hard nosed, determined. They practiced it. They tried to practice it, and it just didn't work.
I'm leaving it in. I don't care. Falcons 23, Titans 28. Dylan, the floor's yours.
Yeah, first game in 23 straight that we've scored 28 or more points.
Why is that? What happened today? How did you guys score 28 points? Is there a specific person or reason?
Well, it depends who you ask. If you probably were to answer that question yourself, or even you, Connor, you've been less on the hate train. You would say, "Oh, well, DeAndre Hopkins just got open. Anybody can hit a wide open wide receiver. Oh, offensive pass interference when the guy literally was 10 feet away from him." We have a new Rookie of the Year contender that entered the scene. His name is Will Levis, and before we get into it, I do want to offer you guys the opportunity to apologize.
No.
I won't do it. I watched Will Levis in college. It's been one game. I can't go back on that yet.
It's like
I should give you the opportunity to apologize after Bryce Young did what he did yesterday.
Oh yeah, what'd he do? We'll get into that later.
22 for 31, 1 touchdown, 235 yards. Great game.
Sometimes I feel like Colin Cowherd in his commercial, where it's like, no matter how many times I'm right, you'll still argue with me, right? I mean, and I told you going into the draft, you guys, it will go down in the history books how bad the Panthers messed up this draft, because you had the opportunity to take Levis one. And look, you're sitting here with a 5'4" Bryce Young, can't see over his line. Your guys' Super Bowl is your quarterback playing better than the other rookie quarterback that got drafted behind Bryce Young in a Week 8 NFL game. And yet here I am, nice little piece we picked up in round 2, throwing for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 130-plus quarterback rating. Mm-hmm. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I hope you enjoy Jimmy Clausen.
I don't know who that is. Exactly. You're gonna talk names to me. I don't know who that is.
Esteemed Panthers quarterback.
Yeah, great Panther quarterback. He was honestly just
sounds like Bryce Young, whoever this guy is, because he's playing for the Panthers.
He's very similar to Will Levis. I think you would like Jimmy Clausen actually. You should do some Jimmy Clausen homework after this show.
At Chili's.
I actually really think you're going to love Jimmy Clausen.
Did he have a four touchdown debut against a good Falcons defense? You can't even tell me that it was a bad defense. The Falcons defense is the one thing they hung their hat on all season. Yeah, you can shake your head all you want. It's the facts. I just had to write an article about him.
You know who else had a 4 touchdown debut?
Who?
Marcus Mariota.
For the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
It's close to home.
There we go. I don't know what you want me to say.
Where's he these days?
Eagles. A great football team. NFC champions.
There you go. I love the spins in there.
Great.
No, my Levis thing is he wowed me in the debut. I'm not going to say I was wrong about his career after one game. Like you said, Dylan, what's that phrase you just said like 3 minutes ago? Too small of a sample size. I'm not going to overreact to one game. Like I'm not going to overreact to one game about Bryce Young. Last season what was it? How old's Trevor Lawrence? Is he third year?
He got drafted in 20, I think. His last year was 9. No. He got drafted 21.
21. 20?
Yeah.
So third year.
I think so. He was the year after Burrow, right?
Anyhow, Trevor Lawrence's rookie year, you could have written him off immediately.
Sure.
But he was in a dumpster fire situation. What do you mean? Who
was his head coach? Who's his head coach?
Who's the Panthers head coach?
Frank Reich. He did a great job in Indianapolis.
No, he did not. He was horrible.
He did a great job.
He was horrible. Him and Urban Meyer should hang out.
Where
yeah. I would love to be
a college bar in Austin, Texas? What, 21 and up bar? Yeah.
No, not 21 and up.
Yeah, sorry, 21 and lower. Still life.
Yeah, exactly right. No, but Levis, I want to see him Thursday against the Steelers. If he comes out with a similar type performance and puts on that kind of show against that Steelers defense on the road on a short week on Thursday night, then I'm going to have to backtrack a lot. Right now, I'm going to say, it's too small of a sample size, one game. Let me see that Thursday game against the Steelers because I'm very curious to see that because what if he comes out and throws 100 yards, 3 picks, and gets destroyed in that game? Like, what do we do there then?
Well, I think you give him the benefit of the doubt because he's not debuting, but his first primetime game, maybe some nerves. That's what we do if it's bad. But if it's good, then he's the best rookie quarterback in the class.
Still need to see multiple. Need to see more games.
You just told me that you would eat crow if he has a good game.
I said
Thursday.
I would eat some crow, not all crow.
We'll get hungry because you're gonna be eating all of it.
Hey, not for nothing. Go ahead, Carter.
Go ahead, Connor. Go ahead.
I was gonna say not for nothing. Levis debut, no film on him. Arthur Smith, not the greatest head coach in the world. Falcons defense, not bad. But you're coming up. Listen to this. Thursday night. Mike Tomlin coach team. You don't think they're going to be ready for him? If he puts on a show on Thursday night, like Carter said, I will also bask in some crow eating. Yeah. I'll share the crow. We'll split the tab. But I can't
yet. What happens if he gets outplayed by Titties Trubisky?
That just North Carolina alum. I think that's perfectly plausible.
That goes steering away from the shtick here, getting more into that game that's coming up. I don't know how much time we want to spend, but the Steelers' rush defense is atrocious. So Levis might not have a 300-yard passing game, but I'm not
asking for that.
Well, what are you asking
for? We watch games, though. I need him to pass the eye test. You know what? He did pass the eye test in the Falcons game. If he passes the eye test in the Falcons game, or not the Falcons, sorry, the Steelers game,
there might be a new entry into the dog rankings, some would say.
Oh,
I think that's fair.
Really?
Also
broke up with his girlfriend before the season. First start goes off.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that.
Just saying, dog factor.
I gotta agree with that. If he comes into that Steelers game, destroys the Steelers in Pittsburgh, puts on a show like he did on Sunday, broke up with his girlfriend before the season, all-time dog. Yes, he might win Dog of the Year. We'll have to do Dog of the Year at the end of the season, but go ahead.
So what I don't hear from you guys, this is the sentiment that I've seen across social media, is that anybody can hit wide open receivers. It's all the receivers that getting the separation. Anybody can do it. You guys don't prescribe to that?
I don't. I watched that game. Some of those throws were beautiful. I mean, it was off back foot throws right into the receiver's pocket. A lot of those weren't wide open.
Carter, why didn't if people are making that case on social media, why can't you just say, well, why are they getting separation now? Or like, why couldn't Tannehill do it? Tannehill can't throw the ball that far.
Two things. One, we don't know about like injury stuff. Let's say if Hopkins was healthy now. The other thing was maybe Hopkins was more excited to play with Levis. Maybe this is why he came to Tennessee.
That's true.
And this is why he was getting up for this game. He's like, oh, I got my guy Levis. Like we have great chemistry in practice. Maybe he just doesn't
sees
have
his arm in
chemistry.
practice. Yeah,
exactly. He doesn't have great chemistry with Tannehill. But, like, you watch the Panthers receivers, they're just flat out bad. They could be playing with Pat Mahomes, and they're just bad players outside of Adam Thielen. So.
I was going to say, Thielen ended up being the best receiver you guys have.
Yeah, and he's great. No complaints about Thielen, but DJ Chark, butt cheeks.
I do want to, real quick, end the Titans talk. You look on the sideline, Tannehill sitting there talking to Will Levis. I think it's kind of apparent that Tannehill knows his time's up. He was over there smiling, chatting with them, and I think he's okay with it. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
I think he's okay with that.
I think if you're Tannehill, you've been seeing the writing on the wall for the last year and a half, I'd say. They tried it with Malik Willis. I didn't work out. But with Will Levis, if there's any glimmer of hope, I think he pretty much knows.
And the glimmer of hope was Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we ready to move on to the next game? Because before we do, I want to give you guys the opportunity to apologize one more time.
I want to talk about the Falcons for a second.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Taylor Heineke needs to be starting. The second he came in that game, it flipped a switch. Yes, they didn't win the game, but they were right there knocking on that door.
That drop on fourth down.
Yeah, if Van Jefferson doesn't drop that throw, we might be talking about, Taylor Heineke starting for the Falcons. What a big win. Obviously, that wouldn't have been Levis's fault if they lost yesterday on that last drive. But if Van Jefferson catches that ball, Falcons had all the momentum on that drive. I'm big-time Heineke. I think that's the best thing that's happened to us as a podcast because we're all going to be in on Falcons NFC South stuff now, and now we get to do it with better odds now after that loss.
Well, the whole Ritter, quote, concussion that he cleared instantly, this is the perfect cop-out. The perfect cop-out excuse for them to bench him this week, be like, we're just going to take it, cautious approach, but in reality, they're just going to see what Heineke has. I think it's the right move.
I thought the Niners were going to do the same thing with Purdy.
They should have, and they should have.
We'll talk about that one in a second. Let's before we move on, Dylan, I am not apologizing. You gave me the chance out, but I'm not doing it.
This is your last chance. If you want to jump onto the ship now, I will never mention the draft show. I will never say that you guys were wrong. I will give you the opportunity. One last. You cannot
Karter,
do it after this week.
You can leave the ship. It's fine. I'll captain.
No.
I'll drive. I'll drive through
I'm planting my flag. It was one game. He looked great. I'm not ready to praise him and Hail Mary him, hallelujah, through the streets. We're not doing that. 3 cheers for Will Levis. Great debut. We'll see what he does the rest of the season.
Well, thank you, Will, for the season-long worth of content.
There you go.
Perfect. Yep, exactly.
Real quick, let's breeze through a couple of these games. Pats Dolphins kind of just affirmed everything we thought. Dolphins, beat bad teams. Pats are bad. Dylan, I know what you said before the season. You want to talk about before the season? Oh, the draft show. I looked so awesome on the draft show. Pats playoff? Pats playoff? Playoff?
Well, I was wrong there. I can, when I'm wrong, I can man up. I can say, hey, I was wrong. Unlike some of the people.
I already admitted the Panthers suck. I already admitted I was wrong.
Not Will Levis, but that's we're past that. Dolphins dominated this game. I have the Dolphins ranked number 1, best team in football. Big game next week. The people in London have to be upset, right? I mean, they got Falcons, Jags. They got Titans, Ravens, and now we're sending.
They got 3 games. Would you rather get 3 of those games or 1 Chiefs Dolphins?
It depends. I don't know.
Depends how much of a fan of the game you are.
Yeah.
If you want to go for
if you're casual, I think you got to go for the 1 game.
Yeah, exactly. If you're casual, yeah. If you're like a fan of the game, you've been begging for games to come overseas for a long time, then you probably want the 3 mid-tier games. But yeah, if you're casual, you want the 1 exciting one.
But for the Dolphins game, Dolphins dominated. They even lost the turnover battle, and they still dominated the Patriots. I think like 36 minutes time of possession, it was all Dolphins, and I think we kind of expected that.
It just bugs me they haven't beat a great team yet. I wanted them so bad to win that Eagles game or the Bills game just to prove and affirm why we think this is a Super Bowl team, but I need to see them beat those good teams.
And even this week when they played the Chiefs, there's going to be a little asterisk that says, it's not in America. It's in, Germany, right? So there's going to be a little asterisk that says, it's overseas. Like London games don't count, blah, 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 whatever. So, we're still not good enough this week.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's enough on that game. I thought this was the funniest game of the day. Jets 13, Giants 10 in overtime. That was hilarious. Zach Wilson showed why he is the number 2 pick in the draft. Unbelievable drive by Zach at the end of the game to get that done, take it to OT. No, he sucked. They all sucked. Everything in this game just sucked. The stadium sucked. The Jets sucked. The Giants sucked. The coaching sucked. The weather sucked. The quarterback sucked. Everything sucked about this game, but it was also hilarious. Have you guys looked at a funnier stat line in your life? The Giants, with both quarterbacks, combined for 6 for 14 passing for 7 yards in an NFL game. You can't make up those kind of numbers. Tommy DeVito had -1 yard, and he played over half the game. -1 passing yards. Trivia question. What was the longest reception by the Giants yesterday?
3 yards.
4.
It was 4 yards. 4 yards. Matt Breida and Darren Waller tied each for the longest receptions of the day for 4 yards. And they still got -1, so they still didn't even get 8 passing yards.
And then you got Saquon rushing 36 times. That's that's an absurd number.
And they still almost won the game. That's the funniest part.
Trust tree here. Did Zach Wilson get that spike off in time? Because that was a really long second at the end of regulation. That was a long
Zach is
second.
quick with it. Zach is quick with it on the field and off the field.
Is he back in the dog rankings after that quote about 24 seconds being more than enough time? He might be back in the dog rankings.
Absolute dog rankings. Dogs get the job done quickly. Is that right or wrong?
Get in, get out.
I think that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Accomplish what you need to do.
He's a rabid dog. The only thing I had from this game is, let's say the Jets make the playoffs. Do you, in your heart of hearts, believe Aaron Rodgers will be starting at quarterback for them coming off his Achilles injury this season?
If they make the playoffs?
If they make the playoffs.
I think so.
What if
he's going to play?
I think he will too, but what if he's not fully healthy, not 100%, which he won't be, and Zach Wilson just led them to the playoffs and they're kind of in quote-unquote a groove? I know Aaron Rodgers gives you a much better chance to win, but if Zach Wilson's been playing for the last 16 and a half games and they made the playoffs doing that, what if Aaron Rodgers comes in and just, screws everything up? I think it's a fair question.
I think you have to hope for
the only way. I think Connor's right though a little bit because. But let's say I think the best case scenario is Zach is terrible the whole way, and they win games.
They get in despite of him.
Yeah,
despite him.
Giants Jets games, and they get into the playoffs like 9-8-1, or 9-7-1, some gross record like that. And then they're like, "Oh, we don't feel bad benching Zach. Yeah, he took us to the playoffs, but Tommy DeVito could have taken us to the playoffs."
Yeah, I think that they have to be hoping for an easy draw in their first round playoff game. Start Rodgers, see what you get, and then you make a decision going forward if he's available. Yep. Because I'm kind of with you, Connor. Hey, you don't really know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with Zach, and their defense can keep them in a game where they have an inferior opponent to where they could try Rodgers out. So.
Yeah, and do you trust that offense? Do you trust that offensive line enough to keep Rodgers, protected? He's not going to be able to scramble around on that Achilles. He's not going to be able to run around. He's 40 years old with a torn Achilles, so I just don't see it.
Prime Mike Vick couldn't deal with that offensive line. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing, the TikTok, the Zach Wilson versus Desmond Ridder TikTok. It's like picking which trash can you like. It's both just going to collect trash.
I would like to retract my statement. I'll go Zach Wilson.
That's why I brought this up. I want to give you a chance.
See, you can give me a chance. You can give me a chance to repent right now. I'll take it. No way. Desmond Ridder, get off the field.
Father Karter has granted your wish to repent.
Thank you.
Jaguars 20, Steelers 10. Gross game, gross weather, gross everything. Titty Trubisky came in for Pickett when he got hurt. He looked terrible.
Deontay Johnson blaming the refs after the game. Come on, man.
Travis Etienne's a legit running back. Jags are just winning games, which I really like, especially against bad defenses. That's not typically not a Jags thing to do. I want to say this though. When you guys have all watched Steelers games this year, the fact that they are 4-3 is so impressive because that is not a good football team. Mike Tomlin, if he takes his team to the playoffs or somehow wins 10 games this year, he has to be coach of the year. Yeah.
Well, this was the thing coming into the year on these preview shows we did. I was like, the Steelers, I don't think they're going to be good. They're not going to be a good football team. They're going to be the worst team in the division. But somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin will scrape them to 8 or 9 wins. And sure enough, they're 4-3 through 7 games. And I do not understand why. I don't get it.
Any other coach in this league, if they had the Steelers roster, would be what, 2-5, 1-6.
Yeah.
I mean, they are Panthers level bad in my opinion. Maybe a little bit better, but not by much. I think if the Panthers had better coaching, they would have won a couple games just because their schedule sucks. But besides the point, let's move on. Eagles 38, Commanders 31. This is the same story every single year in this game. Commanders just play the Eagles close, or they either win or they upset, or it's always a gross, close game. I mean, 38-31, that's like the most anti-Dylan thing in the world. Oregon, Washington 2.0. Sam Howell, I guess, looked good. The Eagles just remind me of an NBA team. I've said it already on this show, but the Eagles just are an NBA team that just don't really get up for regular season games. They get the job done, and they're just saving themselves for the playoffs, it feels like.
It's time to start a dialogue on Sam Howell. It's time to start a dialogue. 39 for 52, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick against that Eagles defense. That's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good day.
How many sacks did he take yesterday?
Only 1.
It was good. Don't even get me started on the sack situation. Don't even get me started on the sack situation.
I was going to say that Commanders offensive line heard Dylan pregame doing that article pick.
Dink dunk. I mean, the guy was in the pocket for a half a second each time. It was a screen. It was a 3-yard bubble.
You blame him?
I can't. I mean, it's great game planning for the Commanders, but I was watching. I was like, sweat, get home. And then he never got home. He just threw the ball. So,
this is the first time ever watching a Sam Howell game where like, oh, he's actually getting the ball out quick. Like, he's not holding on to it forever. And he's like, because he loves going for the home run balls. He loves all right, I'm just swinging for the fences. And he finally took the dink and dunks. And you're like, oh, if he actually does this, he can be a legit quarterback. Now, like I said, we need to see it multiple weeks.
And for him
to
do
this again, then okay, now we're cooking.
I think that's fair.
Oh, Sam Howell, he's got the talent.
I'll push back there a little bit. You say we need to see it a couple more weeks. We kind of saw it at the beginning of the season. Those games
but they finally adjusted, is what I'm saying. If he continues this trend, is what I'm saying, then I will believe it. But right now, I'm not in on it.
The trend of what?
Throwing the ball quick, getting out. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league right now, isn't he?
For him to drop back 50,
he was.
He's going to set the record. He's going to set the record still. For him to drop back 52 times and only get sacked once, Dylan, that was a good pick in the article. I'm sorry. I can't believe it.
Egregious. I think there's foul play involved.
Texans 13, Panthers 15. Boing. We gotta win. Eat a W, Connor. Eat a W. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We
won. Hey, they tried. They tried to do the NCAA football. Let's, run in front of the kicker before the thing and just take the offsides and take the 5 yards every time.
That was Bush League.
Didn't matter. CJ Stroud, there's a reason he wasn't number 1 pick. Bryce Young, best quarterback in this draft, gets it done. Oh, I saw that a little bit over there.
Well,
hey, should we do blind quarterback comparisons?
Do you want to go ahead and do it?
Well, we can just do it from this game. I just want to do it from this game. So one quarterback threw 16 to 24, 140 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown. One quarterback had, went 22 to 31, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and threw 8 for 10 for 142 and 0 interceptions and a 118.8 passer rating against the blitz.
That kind of sounds like we're handpicking stats, but I do. There's one more stat that I would need. I need quarterback height.
It doesn't matter.
Does that factor in your pick?
That factors in my model.
Dylan, can I ask something? Did you watch the game?
No.
Okay, so let me tell you something. CJ Stroud, 6 batted passes.
Yeah,
Bryce
that is
Young,
true.
1.
That is true.
I have in my notes that Young got sacked 6 times though.
Oh, he got sacked 6 times, but that's not height. That's not a height problem. That is Ike Ekwonu is a revolving door New York City problem. He sucks.
Well,
that's a bust. That's BUST bust. He needs to move to left guard, but we don't need to do inside football here. Talking about offensive lines. No, it genuinely Bryce Young. It was not his fault. Only one of those sacks I thought was his fault where he held the ball too long. But even then, the receivers weren't really open. You just kind of got to get rid of the ball there. No, it's just the left tackle was getting cooked yesterday. He gave up 3 sacks.
I have 2 takeaways from this game. I didn't watch it much. Number 1, why didn't I take the under? Like, this is such an easy under game on paper.
Yeah,
you just look at it and you're like, you're just like, this is definitely going under. You see the colors, you see the HOU, you see the CAR, HUCAR. You're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's going under. The second thing, this game, it really reminded me of like, did you guys ever play like select or travel baseball or any kind of sport like that?
Oh, travel basketball, AAU. I was big in the AAU.
It's like when you're playing in the elimination part of the tournament and you lose like the second to last game, and then you play a consolation.
You're in the consolation bracket. Yep,
third place.
100%.
It was like you guys were playing for second and third place. It was beautiful to see, and I'm glad Bryce Young came out on top. I can't stand Stroud, so it's huge for Panthers fans, huge for Bryce Young backers. I'm happy for you guys.
That just went over my head at first. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was wondering, Connor. I was like, how did you not catch on to that?
That went over my head. No, I understand what you're doing now, Dylan. You're trying to pull it over on me. You got me excited.
Well, no.
The Panthers. No, it's okay.
I'm not trying. I'm just trying to go here on this show and give the people that watch this an honest assessment of what happened in the game. That's what it was. It was a consolation bracket.
Minimum five starts requirement to be included in this. So
no, we don't need to see all 5 starts from Bryce Young. No, Dylan. I think we played the semifinal match. Yesterday. Titans won their leg. Panthers won their leg, and we get the gold medal match. We get the gold medal match November 26th.
But did the Panthers win their leg, or was it just kind of like you're playing a basketball game and all the other team gets injured and you guys just happen to be the last one standing?
Nobody was injured in that Texans game.
Well, no, I'm just hypothetically. Did you guys win, or was it more like you just didn't? You survived.
We won that game.
Oh no, that was a win. Yeah, you can't take this away from us. It's been too long since I felt that joyous feeling.
I guess Panthers fans would know, right?
We were like the Timberwolves. We were like the Timberwolves winning the playing game. It was,
I got my jersey off. Pat Bev pumping on the scores table.
Oh baby, we won. We won. That's all that matters.
I do have one more thing on this game. Let's talk about that last drive. 17 plays, over 6 minutes long, starting from the Carolina 9-yard line, and then they drained the clock down from 6:17 all the way down to the last play. That was a clinical drive, great play calling. Miles Sanders ran the wrong route on that 4th down and almost screwed everything up. That would have lost us the game. He needs to be cut immediately. That was great play calling. Frank Reich's first week, where he delegated it down to the offensive coordinator, I think it worked out pretty well, especially on that last drive, really on that last drive.
When our undrafted practice squad player has more of an impact than the guy we were paying $8 to $10 million a year for, it's a problem. He should be cut immediately. I agree with that. Get him out of the team. I don't care. Take the dead cap hit. I don't care.
It's like Nick Batum.
It's like Nick Batum. No more Charlotte sports talk, Connor. We're doing
sorry.
Nobody cares.
Sorry. Hornets game tonight. Sneaky money line bet. No, I'm just kidding.
How does that not hit though? Browns 20, Seahawks 24. I cannot believe I had to sweat out this over. I needed one touchdown, 7 points. 7 points from the beginning of the second quarter, and it just had to sweat it out till the very end. The Browns and the Steelers might just be the exact same team. And I was going to say the same thing. If the Browns somehow win 10 games without Deshaun Watson playing 90% of them, Kevin Stefanski, give him Coach of the Year, because P.J. Walker is dookie shoes.
In all fairness, he's not much worse than Deshaun Watson's been this year. And I thought Deshaun Watson would have a bounce back year this year, but he has been god-awful.
I just don't – I mean – I don't want to make a massage joke, but something happened on those tables that – did he get hurt? Like, what's going on here? He's not been the same since.
Yeah, maybe his love for the game just went away, just dissipated.
Maybe he has a love for a different game.
I'm going with the route that maybe his insurance didn't cover it, his health insurance. And that's why he needed the guaranteed money. He needed the guaranteed money to pay for the visits.
Let's get him a Baker Mayfield progressive ad.
I'm sure advertisers are jumping at the opportunity to have Deshaun Watson in their commercials.
Imagine being Deshaun Watson's PR guy or girl, whoever it is, just PR team.
So they're like, hey, Deshaun, we got a promo from Adam and Eve. Do you want to do a commercial for them?
Just like to see, does he even have any? There's no endorsement deals. There's nothing. It's like what an awful job that must be.
It's just like those like comedians podcasts where there's like, get these sex toys, and you're like, or like late night Comedy Central. You're in a hotel room. You're watching South Park and it cuts to a commercial. You're like, and they're just playing those sex ads. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude, who is falling for this? 551.
Where's the phone?
Hotel phone. For this game, whatever. Is there anything to really talk about in this game?
I would hate putting my trust in PJ Walker at the end of games. As somebody who's done it for a few games.
I did have one more thing. Are the Seahawks frauds?
Yes.
They got out to a hot start, and I'm inclined to say yes. Geno had 2 picks, and I almost bet him to lead the league in interceptions this year. I don't even know what he's at right now, but there's so many of his throws that could be picked off. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
I think Seahawks are frauds, but Dylan, tell me why.
Yeah, they just always get outplayed and find a way to win these games. Yesterday, Cleveland, really on paper, destroyed the Seahawks team. It came down to a last-minute, costly interception, pouring out for your boy. Cleveland plus 3.5, Cleveland money line. Brutal. But, they almost had 37 minutes time of possession, 6 more first downs in Seattle. Turnovers also hurt them here. 3 turnovers to Seattle's 2. As we mentioned, the costly one at the end of the game. So, yes, I agree. I don't think the Seahawks are good. I think that they are like a Kroger brand of the Lions, right? Pretty good offense, but play no defense. I just think they're worse than the Lions.
I think they're a much worse version of the Lions, though.
Yeah.
I think it's time to start a little.
Beat the Lions.
Yeah, I think it's time to start a little bit of a dialogue, Dylan. Game-winning touchdown yesterday. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 2 touchdowns in his last 2 games. Is the Ohio State alum coming into his own a little bit?
I'm glad the dude was healthy. I know he was battling a little tummy ache before the game. He decided to play. He manned up like the Ohio State man he is, and he decided to get on that field and earn his money. Happy for him.
There you go.
Great response.
Seahawks wins. Let me read this through, and then we'll move on. They they lost to the Rams, beat the Lions, beat the Panthers, beat the Giants, beat the Cardinals, beat the Browns, and obviously lost to Cincinnati as well. Does that really? I feel
it doesn't tickle me.
Shows it, yeah.
No, doesn't tickle me.
And also, I guess you can't really call the Rams a road the Rams was at home and they lost. So the Lions was the only true road game they've.
If Seattle squeaks into the playoffs, I'll be the first one in line to bet against them because I don't think.
I think I would too.
100%. Not a team designed to thrive in the playoffs.
No.
Dylan, I don't know if you already did, but Ravens next week against the Seahawks. I think it's
4.5, baby. Got them last night.
4.5.
Yeah,
I think it's 5.5 now, right?
6 some places.
Yeah, I like it. I like it anywhere up to 6.5. I think.
Yep, it's huge.
Anyhow, Chiefs Broncos. Did Vegas poison Patrick Mahomes? It comes out before the game. All of a sudden, they're like, Patrick Mahomes' illness might not play today. And you're like, what's going on? And then 10 to 14 inches of snow in Denver. And people are like, it doesn't matter. The Chiefs are still going to win by a touchdown. Nope. Did you watch the game, Dylan? Did you watch?
I watched all of it. Yeah, I watched all of it. Had a Chiefs team total over 27.5. I have an issue. I have an issue with the weather people. Because you cannot tweet about snow when there's no snow on the field. You can't do it. So if you they have some underground system that heats up the field, which if that's true, I was banking on the fact that the field would be slippery. So it doesn't even have to be snowy. If they heat up the snow and the field's even a little bit wet,
it's a great irrigation system. They got some French drains in there.
And then 425 hits and you see the Broncos game. It's clear and sunny. It looks great on TV.
It might be 80 degrees if you were there. On the TV, it looked like it was 90 degrees. So yeah, a lot of sketchy stuff going on there. I don't know about the Vegas thing. Taylor Swift not there, right? Just released Taylor's version 1989. Travis Kelce seen partying at the World Series in Texas Friday before the game. Awful look, especially when you lose to a team as bad as the Broncos. You cannot be partying the Friday before an away game. Especially a divisional away game, and lose to that divisional opponent. Leads me to my next point. I think they broke up. I think Travis and Taylor are done. Taylor wasn't with Travis at the World Series. Taylor's not at the game in Denver, right? I mean, who knows? She might be partying with her people because of the Taylor's version re-release. I'm going Trouble in Paradise.
I lean more towards she's just not a football gal. Where
you suck it up. I don't care.
I'm saying I just don't think she is because you got to be there in the snow game. I need to see you in the snow game cheering on, your team, your guy.
Not even a snow game. Fake snow game. It was an illusory snow game. It was fake. It was fake.
What do you say about these stats? Chiefs are 4-0 when she's in attendance. They're 2-2 without her.
I'm a stats guy. We're talking binomial distribution. You go Taylor Swift there, Taylor Swift not there. What happens when she's there? What happens when she's not? We can even look at Kelsey's production when she's there.
Kelsey's yards, yeah, 100%.
If they did break up, I would take every single Raiders to win the West Division future you can buy. Every single one. Just chomp them up, make them move the number.
The leap you just made is astronomically large. I mean, you just jumped the Grand Canyon.
What are you talking about?
I think I would take the Chargers to win the AFC West, actually.
Oh, Dylan's going to have a stroke.
When he's taking a sip.
Don't say that. Yeah, don't say that.
I was hoping he would spit out his drink.
Oh, man. Sneaky Taylor Swift news here. You can't only show up when it's all roses and butterflies and sunny outside and they're playing a bad team.
Right.
You gotta show up in the grit and grind. You gotta show up in the weather inclement. You gotta show up when he needs it the most. That's when he needs the support the most. I don't know if they broke up, Dylan, but this is a red flag.
Would you respect her if you saw her at the Iowa Northwestern game at Wrigley this week? Would you say, you know what?
She's a football girl. Yep, she's a football gal.
I would say she's a football girl, but then I would be like, well, is she cheating on Travis with Kirk Ferentz, Cade McNamara, Eric All? That's the questions that we have to ask, right? So we're all in committed relationships. Two of us are married. One's in a long-term relationship. I don't care if you're not a football person. You go support. It's just how it works. Yeah. That's what you do.
Whether it's football or volleyball coaching, Dylan, you got experience there. I mean,
yes,
you support.
Yes.
Yeah, or like watching the Panthers, like they got to be there to support. Like you need a therapist. If you're a Carolina sports fan, you need your 24/7 therapist. We need a better health sponsor after talking about Carolina.
Deshaun Watson could sponsor. Oh, sorry. Last thing I'll say about this game, we should have known this is a red flag whenever the whenever the Chiefs BS covered against the Broncos 2 weeks ago, whenever it was 10.5 and they won 19-8 and they shouldn't have. We should have known that Vegas was going to get everybody back, and we should have bet Broncos money line. And I'm disappointed I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not. I would have been upset if I had. Like, imagine what if the game just ends up like Chiefs could have won this game by like 40. You're like, oh my gosh, I took the Broncos. I'm the dumbest guy in the world.
We play the coulda game out for the whole 3 hours the show's going to be.
That's coulda. Though. That's the whole point of this. We're always.
That's what I'm saying. So why do we bet at all? Well, this could happen.
Yeah, I know. That's the fun of it.
That's why numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. Panthers have had a touchdown in every single game this season. The Chiefs have not. Who's the better team? Who's to say? Ravens 31, Cardinals 24. Weird game, backdoor cover by the Cardinals.
Gross.
Ravens win a game they had to. Josh Dobbs, fun quarterback. He's always going to be in these games. He is Vegas's favorite quarterback. Like if you're a bettor, you're like Josh Dobbs. Please, I love you.
I will keep betting the Cardinals all season if Josh Dobbs is the quarterback. I already took him this week. I forget who they play, but I already took him. Like, yeah, I'm with you guys. Cardinals are an auto bet.
No, they're playing the Browns. They're at the Browns.
Yep.
Ooh. Josh Dobbs, cold weather.
Under.
Snow. Yeah.
Alleged snow. We don't know these days.
Alleged snow. That's what
meteorologists are in cahoots. Meteorologists are in cahoots with bookmakers.
I said this on the preview show with Grant last year. I said, BYU, Texas, they're calling for rain. I'm not buying it. This is going to be sunny. It's going to be humid. It's going to be gross. Guess what? It was a gross game. It was sunny and humid. I hated it. Bengals 31, 49ers 17. Are the Bengals back? Dylan, you said it.
Yes.
AFC North titles. You said it on the last show.
Price slashed in half since the last show. We're now looking at plus 330 to win the AFC North. A tidbit that I pulled out from this game. Not so much a takeaway, a tidbit. 118 total plays. 17 third downs. Does that not seem odd to anybody else? That seems low.
It does.
So are we just talking explosive first, second down plays, or because the total points wasn't that high. You would think if they're ripping off these plays, they'd be 50, 60 points. What was it? 31-17?
31-17.
Yeah. So I saw that when I was looking through the box score. I thought that was a neat little tidbit.
A question.
Yes, Mr. Baughan.
So is it? Do I like? So I was questioning your like Bengals win the AFC North thing because I was like, well, if the Niners win this game, I thought the Niners were going to win because I thought Darnold was going to play. I don't think that's fair for me to, I know you're like Karter, you're anti-Dylan, you hate me, blah blah blah.
You do.
But I don't, Dylan. I love you. I love you. The love and hate part of your brain are so close they intertwine.
Can we clear up the air on the anti-Dylan? I said that it was because of a tank comment. No, I gave you a cricket pick. It was like +2 something, and you just immediately responded, I'm taking the other side. Immediately, knowing nothing. That was the anti-Dylan comment. And guess what?
Yeah, that's pretty
I
brutal.
forget who it was. I think maybe
It was
maybe
England
Pakistan.
and Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. It was Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
And Sri Lanka wins outright. +245. Bang.
I don't regret that at all. And I did not take cricket, or else I would be on the
Common misconception. Before you say it, common misconception. Those markets are the easiest to beat. I've had to fight those allegations.
No. But I just can't. But you're
can't.
right.
No,
I can't. I can't.
Do you like free money, Carter? Boy, oh boy, do I have the deal for you.
Anyhow, do we hit the panic button on the Niners? When do we get to bench
No.
But when do we get to bench Brock Purdy is my bigger question.
You don't. I don't think.
Yeah,
it happens,
you can.
But I don't think you do. I think it's just a
He was
simple.
bad. He was bad. He's been bad.
It's just a simple regression.
What happens if he is bad the next couple weeks? You can't afford these losses.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
Two things can be true here. I'm in the camp that they should have started Sam Darnold this week and played it, quote, safe with Brock Purdy, even though he cleared concussion protocol. Just see what you have with Darnold for a game. See what happens if you need him later in the year, whatever. I still don't think they bench Purdy, though. You can't make that decision. He's had a couple bad games, sure, a couple bad throws.
Three straight losses, and he's looked bad in all of them.
Yeah, but with this team, they're going to bounce back. I mean, he's got the weapons around him. Come on, Carter.
But I'm not hitting the panic button on the Niners. I'm kind of hovering over the panic button on Purdy a little bit.
They're in a bye week right now.
These games, he's not been good, and he's almost been hurting them more than helping.
Well, they should win the next 3 games. Jaguars, Bucks, Seahawks. That should be 3 wins. Get them back on track. Then they play Philadelphia. So that'll be tough.
Like after the Cowboys game, you look at the next 3, you say Browns, Vikings, Bengals, you're like easy 2-1 at minimum. Should be 3-0.
Yeah. It's not time to panic with the Niners, though. I don't think they're the powerhouse, undefeated team everybody thought they were. But if you liked them to win the Super Bowl, you should still like them.
This is a great time for their bye week to come, I think. Could not have come at a better time. But also, they got to play like at Jacksonville next week. At Jacksonville in November is a weird game, especially traveling from the West Coast. That's never an easy game. Jacksonville's kind of rolling right now.
Snow in the forecast?
They're both coming off
Who
byes,
knows?
by the way, too. It's snow coming. Hurricane season. But anyhow, do we see Darnold this year? With a non-injury, no injuries, do we see Darnold?
No, I don't. I think Purdy's earned his right to start and play through his bumps in the road for the rest of the year. He's earned that right. We don't see Darnold without an injury.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If it's this bad continually, how do you keep it going? You cannot keep this happening.
Carter, I'm trying to save you from getting your tires slashed here. You better stop with the Sam Darnold stuff.
I don't care. I'm looking at it. I mean, if the Niners are this good, you can't lose to the Browns with P.J. Walker. You can't lose to the Vikings. You can't lose to the Bengals. You have to win these games.
I did have a guy go after me in the TikTok comments. So anytime that Purdy has a bad game, I do go in there and I let him hear it. So now it's been 3 weeks in a row, and they probably think that I'm crazy because it's like I look forward to it on Sundays, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy, Colton Gunter, that I go back and forth with, and
I get the
at this
notifications.
At this point, I know I've won because it's no longer about the content, right? So, bro, get off my D. You're effing pathetic. I won that. I mean,
and what do you say back to that? Okay.
Oh, I should hit him back with the okay. I'll do that right now. Okay! Exclamation point.
Live on the show.
Last game I want to talk about: Bears 13, Chargers 30. Yuck. That's all I had on that game. Anything else?
Yuck.
Tyson Bagent anytime touchdown plus 550. Bring me home. And Donald Parham. And Donald Parham, Dylan. So shout out you.
Yeah, Dylan did get Dylan got a mulligan because the digs, all the lines weren't out yet for the parlay. So, but
yeah,
I do also. I think if we added up total units from the anytime touchdown parlay, what I'm so bad at, I think I would probably lead the podcast. But
I feel like it's pretty similar.
Well,
no, that Josh Oliver play put him over the top.
And then that was the Parham was like a 3.
I got him at 370. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I got him worse odds than that. I think I got him at 350, maybe.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. Early lines, look aheads, Dolphins, Chiefs. This is more of a conundrum for me. I need you guys to help me through this. I'm going to be in Hawaii this week. Hawaii football weekend. Going to be weird. So 6 hours behind Eastern time, apparently. Word on the street is. So like Thursday night, I get to watch Will Levis play at 2:15 on a Thursday.
That's awesome.
That's criminal. I don't know how to feel about this.
It's a great afternoon, Carter. It's a great afternoon. I'm on the under in that game. Under 37.5, Dylan.
Don't like it. I don't like that under.
I think Will Levis throws for 17 touchdowns. I'm sorry, Connor.
I think he's good for 8 total, 2 rushing, 6 in the air.
This is a bet on Mike Tomlin's defense prepping for him.
Keep in mind, that Mike Tomlin defense looks amazing. 25th overall in rush defense. Yeah, they're looking good. Yeah.
Ground and pound. Fine, ground and pound it. Run the clock out. Under 37. Give it to me.
30-yard rushes, just chomping up the field 30 yards.
Because Derrick Henry's been really efficient this year.
King Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be in Hawaii for football weekend. The Germany game starts at 3:30 local Hawaii time. What are we doing here? What are we doing about the Hawaii game? Starts at 3:30 in the morning. Do I stay up? Do I wake up? Because I'm gonna watch the game. Because I told the missus, hey, like, I'm sorry, it's Chiefs Dolphins. I have to watch football. Like I can't miss football. Well, so do I stay up until 3:30 or do I wake up at 3:30?
This depends on what your plans are the next day. Because if you're getting up for some excursion or you have something to do the next day that's kind of early, I think you wake up for it. I think you try to get to bed at a decent time the night before. If you don't have any late dinner plans, late night plans, I think you try to get to bed and then you set that alarm and you're up early. You're up early. So what? Early start to the day and you got plans after the game.
How late do you plan on staying up for college football on Saturday?
Well, that's the other crazy thing. Let's get the stats department on this.
I'm leaning towards you sleep and get up early.
I think so too. Unless there's
sleep and get up early because the latest college football game starts at 4:30 Hawaii time.
Is it going to cause any issues that you're going to sleep at like 7?
Hope not.
Fair enough.
No,
hey.
well, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. Hit the bed about 9:30, get about 5.5, 6 hours of sleep, and you'll be fine for the next day. You've gone off less, Carter. I know you.
Oh, I go off less every night. I don't sleep. Do I stay up for Oregon State, Colorado? That's what it comes down to. Do I?
No. No.
Give yourself a break. You're in Hawaii, and if you're watching Oregon State, Colorado.
Okay, but you know how mad I would have been if I didn't stay up for Colorado Stanford?
Fair.
I stayed up for that. That was awesome.
I fell asleep during it, and it's...
Yeah, you missed out. You weren't there. You weren't with the people. You weren't there.
Right. You're right.
You weren't there with the people.
Should be a core memory.
He's got his crown on right now. You weren't with the peasants, the serfs out there in the field.
No.
Yeah.
Dylan was in the American Express Centurion Lounge.
Yep, up on my ivory tower
with a luxury ham in the crock pot.
It's like the episode of SpongeBob out with Squidward. Go fetch me my grapes.
Any Lookahead Lines you guys like this week? I like the Falcons spread, but I just need to know who's playing.
Yeah. That I actually wrote that down on my notes. Was find out quarterback for both teams. Dolphins.
Ooh.
Commanders.
You don't see a Chiefs bounce back.
I do.
No, absolutely. No.
Give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs are at a scheduling disadvantage too because they're coming off a divisional game in Denver. And I understand Miami has a divisional game as well that they're coming off of, but they had the luxury of playing at home. So I actually docked the Chiefs 1.5 for that. But
is Taylor in Germany?
Huh?
No way Taylor goes to Germany, right, for this game? That would be the ultimate.
I bet she does. And it's like a week thing.
What's the international leg? Where's stats? Where's the international leg of the tour? Doesn't that start?
Is it going on?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
That would be ultimate conspiracy theory because that would be a good conspiracy theory note if she's in Germany.
I'll get stats department on it. Any other Lookahead Lines?
Cowboys, Commanders, Titans, Dolphins. That's what I got. Money line or spread. They're all pretty small.
Side note, Taylor Swift International Tour does not start till November 9th. So maybe she'll get a little head start. Head over to Germany.
Where does it start?
Where is it?
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
That's out of the way. Yeah. Geography.
Early lines, nothing crazy stands out to me. I'm indicated, I'm leaning towards the Chiefs here, Dylan. I know you said the Dolphins. I'm leaning towards the Chiefs on the early look ahead. I think there is a room for a bounce back. Other than that, Panthers plus 2.5 against the Colts.
No, Connor.
Panthers money line.
Panthers money line. That's it. Gardner Minshew on the road. Are you kidding me? Panthers money line all day.
Well, he's serviceable. I mean,
I was looking up the Taylor Swift days whenever you went over the end of your lines there. Rams are plus 3. I know Stafford's hurt and dealing with that injury. Do we trust Jordan Love that much? I don't know if we do. So Rams plus 3 might be one as well. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's rough. College, real quick. I had referenced to you, Carter. I am going to be taking your title of Big 12, Mr. Big 12, soon. We're going to start with UCF -4 and Cincinnati.
Sure. Where's the game at?
At Cincinnati.
I love that play.
Okay, we're going to start there. We're also going to go Baylor -4 against Houston.
Where's the game at? Is it Baylor?
Baylor. Yep.
Love that too.
Gosh dang it. Why disagree with me? Also,
I can't because Houston's so bad. And then the other thing is UCF and Cincinnati are just dying for their Big 12 win, and it's kind of who's better than, and I think UCF's a way better team. And the other thing is, Dylan, is one of my favorite college football rules over the last few years. You only get so many games in your life to bet against Emory Jones. You only get so many games, and this is another one. UCF -4 on the road. I love that play.
We can talk about this a little more on the actual show. Washington, USC, Mr. Pac-12 under 76.5. These teams, you might think good offenses, they don't play fast. They really don't when you look at plays per game. So I like the under.
Oh gosh,
who's the better quarterback in that game?
Oh, Penix.
It's not even fun anymore. I just know what you're going to say.
Big Ten guy. He started Indiana. Big Ten guy repping the Big Ten.
Who's yours?
Well, they're both about to be Big Ten guys.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so maybe you become a Caleb Williams guy in the Big Ten.
Caleb Williams is not going to be a Big Ten guy because he'll be probably in the league unless he objects.
Yeah, well, no. Let's say he stays. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, they're not going to give me ownership stake. I'll stay. I want to play against Michigan.
The NIL money.
I wouldn't blame him. I don't know why he would actually, because he plays a real defense and he folds. He folds like a piece of origami, like playing Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64. Shout out to Doom Mario.
Shout out Hammer Bros and Mario Baseball. All right, that's it from us. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review. Follow us on Twitter at Connor_Sparrow, at Wilkerson, Dylan, at CarterBA, at CarterCast on all social media. Dylan, Thursday, what's the plan? What's going on here?
If we really want to do this, then I gotta get a StreamYard subscription or something. But I don't have any topics.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah,
we'll talk after the show about that.
There'll be content. That's all you need to know.
Just stay tuned. Follow us on socials for Thursday potential live stream, and it's not going to be all sports. It might just be stupid stuff because we're kind of stupid. Let's be honest.
Very.
Yeah. Anyhow, all right. That's it from us. Take care. We'll see y'all next time. FYI, no preview next week, or no recap next week. No recap next week. We'll be gone unless you guys want to run your own thing on CarterCast Live YouTube. I will allow you to do that. But anyhow,
thank you, Commissioner. Thank you.
Yeah, that's up to you guys. I don't know. I'll give you the
gracious host. Follow my NBA picks, CarterCast.com. 3.5.
CarterCast.com. Basketball articles. So, Connor, we're not doing a college basketball preview show this year. It's just going on CarterCast.com. We're writing.
All right. I love it.
Yeah. Back to the Big J journalism. That's it. We're done.
I love it.
See y'all next time. Bye.